Hi, this is Dreama, and today we are doing a client reading. And as always, I know the name of the client and they know their name, but I won't be saying it in this video. Now, today's reading is going to be it's going to be a Celtic cross spread. It's a very common spread, one that I use quite often. And this is just a general reading, so there's no specific questions or anything like that. So I'm going to lay out the cards for the spread, and hopefully you'll be able to see them in the camera, but I will pick each one up and move them closer to the camera as we go through them, just to make sure that everyone is able to see them, okay? All right, there we go. Now we have our spread. All right, I'm going to start actually in the center, and the card underneath, this will be the card about the present and what type of present things are going on with the client right now. The card that goes over top of it is a card that will help us understand the immediate challenges that are going on in the client's life, okay? So, we have the Strength card. Now, this is an interesting card because what that tells me is that, you know, right now within the client's life, there are circumstances that are going on within their life where they need some sort of inner strength. It's something that they are struggling with. And I really believe that there's some pain going on, that someone has caused some pain to the client, and you're doing your very best right now to stay strong, okay? Next we have the immediate challenge, and we have the Two of Swords. Now, this is an interesting card, as you know, it pertains to the, you know, the challenge that's going on right now in the client's life. And I'm not sure if you'll notice, but the lady in the card, she's holding two swords. Her arms are crossed and she's blindfolded, okay? So what I'm getting from this card is that there seems to be a challenge that is going on right now. And the challenge has something to do with friendship or intimacy, someone very close to the client. And for some reason, it looks as though, because she is wearing a blindfold, that whatever this person is doing, whatever is going on with this other person, that the client that you want to actually seem to wear blinders to avoid any kind of problems or anything like that. I would kind of be a little careful if I were the client, just because from these two cards, this tells me that there's something in your life that is causing you pain. And whatever that is, be sure not to wear those blinders, because that may make things actually even worse, okay? Now, we're going to move to the card here. This card on this side actually is the distant past. And we have the Knight of Cups. Now, this is an interesting card as it pertains to the past. It's actually a very strong card, okay? So what that tells me is that something in the past, something new came into your life at some point, and it was almost like a message from someone, and that's what I'm getting, in the past. And whatever that was, it caused the client to want to move away. Because this card there, the Knight is moving away, okay, to kind of distance yourself from any kind of pain or problems. You've actually moved away from this type of relationship. That's kind of what I'm getting. Someone has actually, you know, tried to get you to stay, but you didn't, okay? All right, and I think that's caused some regrets and things like that in your life. Okay, now we're going to move to the more recent past. And we have the Seven of Rods. Now, the recent past is within a few months, and this is within a few years. So, Actually, the Seven of Rods, it's a pretty busy card. There actually is a whole lot of things going on. There's a man, and he appears to be kind of pushing down on one rod, and he's pretty much surrounded by a lot of others. What I'm getting from this is that there was something going on, some sort of problems with your finances or something like that. And you had to work very hard. To me, this man is pushing down on a rod, and he's working very hard. And it looks like you did work very, very hard. However, the rods still kept springing back up. So what that tells me is that you were really trying to keep your finances in order, but it looks as though it was almost as if the more you pushed them down, the more they came back. And I'm getting that those were some kind of business problems, financial problems is what I'm meaning by business. Just your finances, you've been trying to get those under control, but for some reason about the time you get them under control, more just kind of spring up at you. All right. Okay. Now we are going to move on to actually the card up here. This is going to be our outcome card. And this is the Ace of Pentacles. So basically what I'm getting from this card, and this is an overall outcome of this situation here, okay, is that it looks as though the Ace of Pentacles is a very strong card, okay. It's a card it's not a bad card, that's for sure. What I'm getting from that is that it looks as though these things will resolve themselves quite fast for you within a matter of a few months. And as the card, I'm not sure if you can see, but there are flowers underneath of it. So that tells me that everything is going to work itself out, the finances and your past and what's going on right now in your future, that things will definitely get better for you. And that just overall, you'll have a period of contentment, okay? All right, now we're going to move to this card, which is the immediate future, okay? And we have the Page of Cups. Now, this is an interesting card as it pertains to your future, because what I'm getting from this card is that I'm getting that you're going to receive some good news, okay, in the immediate future, which may pertain to the financial situation or this situation where there's someone in your life, okay? That things are definitely looking up. I do think that, the page to me, a lot of times this is about business, about something is going to happen in the financial department to make things better for you, okay? Which kind of relates to this half of the spread. Okay, now I'm going to move over to this side, and this is going to be this card here will be kind of like the factors that will affect your entire situation. Okay, we have the Eight of Pentacles. Now this is an interesting card. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's a person and they're looking diligently and polishing one pentacle, and there's all these up above them. So what that tells me is that the overall things that will affect this situation, this card is about diligently working on one thing, concentrating on one thing. Don't spread yourself too thin, okay? Just take whatever best suits you, okay, for your finances right now. Work on that one area, okay? That's what's going to affect the future for you, okay? All right, the next card here is one I call the external influences, and that basically means things that other people may do to you, or things that may happen that can influence your future. Okay. And we have the Knight of Pentacles. Now, this is an interesting card also because it's a very strong card, okay? The Knight is a very strong card. And there certainly isn't anything bad about it. But the question is that, you know, what kind of outside influences is this going to happen? It looks like what I'm getting is that there's someone that will be coming into your life, if they're not there already, that is a very responsible person. You know, someone that will help you, okay, in your business ventures, because that's what I'm getting. This is about business and your finances. They will offer to help you, and you really should take their help. They're a very responsible person, and their only goal is to help you, okay? All right, next we have the hopes and fears, and that would be this card. And we have the Six of Pentacles. Now, this is an interesting card. I'm not sure if you can see, but there's some children down there, and there's a man up here, and he's holding all these pentacles. They have one, okay? Now, remember, this is about hopes and fears. So, what I'm getting from this card, basically, is that it's almost like attention. He is giving attention to these children on the bottom. So, what I'm getting is that your hopes and fears, your hopes are that you will get the attention that you desire, okay? And your fear is that you may not get that attention, if that makes sense. Almost like a prosperity, a goodness. You hope things will get better for you, and you want them to get better for you overall. But yet you fear that. And that is something that you're going to have to struggle with, I think, on a daily basis. I really do. And I'm also getting that there's something going on as far as a time frame, okay? And there's something going on in your life that has a time frame, and you're kind of afraid that that time frame is not going to work out, okay? All right, and lastly, our last card actually is the one up here. I can get it over. Okay. The Three of Rods. Now, this card basically is the final outcome of everything. Now, the Three of Rods is an interesting card. There's a man, I'm not sure if you can see, he has one rod there, two behind him. He's looking off in the horizon, there are ships. So what that tells me is that in order for your future to be pretty much the way it should be, there will be some things that you're going to have to leave behind. Possibly some relationships or somebody that's connected in your finances. You're going to have to leave some things behind and just focus on that one thing. And once you do that, then I think what you see on the horizon of your future is much better. There are ships out there that he is looking at. So what that tells me is, you know, that your ships will come in. But in order for all this to happen, you do have to leave some things behind. Unfortunately, that's a choice that at the time you will have to make. But if you do choose to leave some things behind and move on, then what will happen is basically everything will work out. Your relationships, your finances, all of it will work out perfectly as long as you leave some of these things behind. It may be painful to do, but in the long run it will work out. All right, that does conclude my reading for today, and I would like to thank everyone for joining me. And I do encourage everybody to actually visit my Etsy store. And I do actually have readings, but we have potions and perfumes and creams and something for everyone, pretty much. So, okay, that does conclude the reading, and I'd like to thank you all for joining me, and we'll talk to you all again.